So the latest version of Galaxy AI is here from Samsung. We're going to get into the good, the bad, and the somewhat underwhelming parts of the latest announcements. So many devices, so many things to discuss. Let's get into it. Hey, what up? We're back with another video, and for today we're getting into the recently launched Samsung foldables for 2024. I happened to be at the Johannesburg Galaxy Unpacked event, and we got to check out some of the new devices, touch, feel, and there's a lot that's going on. Obviously, the big focus is what's going on with the AI, the artificial intelligence systems that Samsung is using. They're calling it Galaxy AI. We spoke about this quite a bit when we went to the S24 launch earlier this year and talked about it now. So Samsung actually launched a whole heap of devices. This week we saw a new Galaxy Flip 6, a Fold 6. We also saw the Galaxy Ring. We also saw some new earbuds. That's the Buds 3 and Buds 3 Pro. And then also at the same time, new Galaxy watches, including the new Galaxy Watch Ultra. So there was a lot that was happening. But instead of getting into each of the devices, because I'm sure by now you'll start to see reviews coming out and lots of impressions, I wanted to focus on three particular areas that stood out to me when it comes to this particular launch. So the first thing that stands out to me is the design. I really like the design language that Samsung actually has now. I spoke about it with the S24, and we've actually seen some of that filtering down to the foldables line. You've got flatter sides, more exaggerated camera housings, that type of thing. So I really like the feel in the hand. Samsung has taken on an iterative approach to their design language. So if you were to check out the Flip and Fold 5, they're barely distinguishable from the Flip and Fold 6, but it's when you touch them and you feel them in the hand that you feel that there is a difference, more so on the Fold, because now you've got a different aspect ratio for that front screen, and you've also got different camera housings. So I do like this approach from that point of view. So if you get a chance, definitely touch these ones. Now the second piece, this is where we start getting into some of the things that I wasn't particularly happy about, so to say. The first thing is the fact that you're now starting to see Samsung taking a bit more of a follower approach in certain aspects. Samsung has always had a reputation as an innovator in the space. You remember back in the day with the Galaxy S, S2, S3, S4, and even S5 phones back in the day, they used to throw everything in the kitchen sink in terms of features that were available on these devices. But now we see them, maybe paring down with some of these things. And one of the areas, that really stuck out to me is with the design. I've just spoken about how much I like the look and the feel of the Fold and the Flip 6. But when it comes to the other devices that were announced, particularly, the Buds 3 and Buds 3 Pro, as well as the new Galaxy Ultra watch, it's giving Apple. That's the only way that I can describe, the impression that I had when those devices were being announced. Earlier this year, you would have seen that I reviewed the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro, and I actually like that particular design. I have AirPods and I have the Buds 2 Pro, but I always liked the Buds design. Samsung used to go quite a bit around the bean-shaped design, and it's what made them stand out in the market. But now they've gone with a stemmed design. They were stemless before. Now they have a stemmed design, which harkens, to AirPods and, all the other myriad of, buds that are out there in the market. So not particularly pleased with the direction they're taking in terms of that design. And also, when you look at the Galaxy Watch Ultra, that's very, Apple Watch-esque, in the way that they've implemented that design. Yes, they've kept that circular watch face, but the chunkiness and the more squared offness of that particular device does lend itself to that. So on that front, it really did feel as if this was one of those places where Samsung has sort of walked back some of their authenticity or their originality in favor of following the rest of the market. And then lastly, the biggest thing that Samsung focused on, like many other manufacturers right now, is AI, artificial intelligence. They're calling theirs Galaxy AI. We spoke quite a bit with the S24 launch how I liked the fact that this was the direction that Samsung was moving in, but that was at the start of the year. Now, in July, we've seen announcements coming in from Microsoft, Google, and even Apple around their own AI implementations when it comes to design as well as, devices. And I think on the device front, almost all the manufacturers I've just spoken about have leapt ahead of what Samsung is talking about. When you look at Microsoft Copilot and Apple Intelligence, there's a little bit more integration. And funny enough, I had a conversation with one of my friends the other day. Shout out to my homie Titch, and I'm actually just gonna read exactly what I said to him in a text conversation, because I think it encapsulates the feeling on that front. And I literally said, Samsung was the first out of the gate with device AI that is always on, but their lead feels like it's been lost. The moves that Microsoft has been able to make with Copilot on Windows, Apple's integration on iPhone, Mac, and iPad, and Google's AI on Pixel devices is much better implemented, thought through, and executed. The other issue, right, is that at least from how it appears, is that Samsung is yet to make an investment into more of its own compute power to drive some of these, language models and AI systems. Both Microsoft and Apple are relying on OpenAI, but at least Apple has developed its own models that can run on device and in their cloud. And then Microsoft is OpenAI's biggest investor, and the platform mainly runs on Azure. So the tie-in is obvious, from that point of view. So I think that encapsulates, my feeling. Happy to debate, happy to engage on this one. Maybe I'm giving them too harsh of a criticism. Interestingly, my homie actually shared the sentiment around the Buds 3 as well as the Galaxy Watch that it's giving Apple, and they seem to be following from that point of view. So that's it for today. Decided to keep this one, relatively short. AI will continue to be one of the big things that we'll continue to watch, over time. When it comes to have we reached peak smartphone, it does feel as if, from a hardware point of view, we've almost reached a plateau of some sort, but at least the competition from now, at least for now, seems to be around AI and what type of device integrations we see, on that front. You guys can let me know what you think. Are you making use of AI? Are you excited about some of the AI integrations that are coming to devices or that already exist? Or do you think it's a novelty, that they're just gimmicks and something that not everyone is using on a daily basis? You guys can let me know what you think, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.
Hey, this is Baby G, and you're watching the Mob Justice channel. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Live it, love it, like it. This is the Mob Justice TV.